Hey team, how are you? It's Matt here, reading a really interesting book. I realize that right now, since you've seen this and you've now read that it's key performance indicators, you're probably going, wow, this guy really is weird because I get a kick out of reading a book called Key Performance Indicators. And what I was talking to some clients about KPIs is one of the key ones that we have and we got to keep an eye on is the real cost of labor. So today we want to talk about the real cost of labor. And the key part of this is the word real. The real cost of labor. That's what today is all about. And it's actually a really interesting topic, and a topic that a lot of people don't actually get a grasp on until it's too late. So let's go through it. You got a person who's working for you. They're happy, so we're going to put a smile on their dial. And we pay them a wage. And let's just say we pay them a wage of, I don't know, let's just say $20 an hour. Cool. So for every hour that they work, they accumulate $20. We'll do this on an hourly basis because it's quite easy to understand. That pen's running out, so I'm going to get another one. Let's go with maroon. Right. So on top of the wages, what are the other costs that are associated with having this person on your team? Right. So let's look at holidays. We've got to factor in holidays. Holidays normally between 2 and 8%, depending on where in the world you are. Let's just use 4 weeks a year, or 8% as a benchmark. So that's $1.60. So holidays just cost you an extra $1.60 that you won't actually know about and have to pay for until they say, hey boss, I want the weekend off. So you've actually incurred it. It's a liability on the company, but you haven't had to pay it. Other ones commonly, sick. And if they get a week off every year for sickness, 5 days, then that's 2%. We've got to factor in. So that's another 40 cents. Notice how this is clocking up in a big hurry? Yep. So we've got holidays, we've got sick days. Now there could be any other manner of days where you pay them, but they're not actually working. So bereavement is a common one. Alternative days off for sickness of family members, that type of thing. So let's just call that other. And depending on where in the world you are, it could be none. So in North America, often it's none. And Europe, and some places in Europe that I talk to, they can be up to sort of another 3 or 4%. But we'll just work on 2% because often there's something in there. So another 40 cents for that. So as you can see, what we've done is we've actually incurred some other expenses that we're not going to have to pay on a weekly basis, but we still have incurred them. Now, often what we find is retirement's in there. And any employer contributions to retirement need to be factored in. So let's just say there's 2% in there as well. So, got to add all that up. So it's $20 that they're actually going to see, minus tax, obviously. We're going to put tax out of that, but we start off with $20. Do we add $1.60 for holidays? Because that's at 8%. Now, you can change that, obviously, if it's 10% or 6% or whatever it is, then just change that number up. Sick days at 2% is 40 cents, other, and we just threw a nominal number in there of 40 cents, and retirement or anything else that is commonly seen. Could be another 40 cents in there. But for the typical worker, for every hour that they work, the real cost of labor for that worker is $20 plus $1.60, $21.60, $22, $22.40, $22.80, $22.80. We know about the $20 because that's what we've budgeted on and that's what we've negotiated on. And the actual cost is $22.80. Which is actually significantly more than what we actually thought. So what do we do with the $2.80? Well, obviously we know that we've got to pay the wages itself, less the tax, to the employee. Then we pay some tax, and then that's the $20 taken care of. But what do we do with all this other money? Right, so what we do, and this is what the best business operators actually do. Let's pick another color. Let's go for, oh, a lovely shade of gray. How delightful. Right, so I've got $22.80. So we've got the first person to get paid is the wage. That goes to the employee. And let's just say, because maths was never my strong point, that's $15 out of the $22.80. And so we've got tax. We pay that to the tax man. And let's just say, again, for round figures, that's $5. And then we've got $2.80. Right, so what we do is we have an unpaid liabilities. That gets $2.80. Now, unpaid liabilities are exactly what they say they are. The company has incurred them as a risk to the business. We've actually incurred the cost. We just haven't had to pay them yet. And so what my clients do, what I encourage everybody to do, is to put this away into a separate account. Now, why do we put it into a separate account? Well, because it's the real cost of labor. So the profits that you make in a week, if you don't take out the real cost of labor, your profits will actually be distorted because you're not factoring in the real cost of all of the cost of labor. So we put that into a separate account. And often we just call it unpaid liabilities, and it relates just to the holidays, the sick days, other, the retirement contributions that we make. All that stuff goes in that account. Because when that account comes due, so somebody takes a sick day, we pay them out of the unpaid liabilities account. We don't pay them out of our normal wages. We pay them out of our unpaid liabilities account. So what we do is, in effect, what we do is we avoid double paying someone and paying two lots of wages for the day that that person was off sick or on bereavement or taking a holiday. Now, so the way that that works is if somebody takes a day holiday, then you've got to get another staff member in to actually replace that person because the work's still got to get done, right? So you get somebody else in and you've got to pay their wages. But what you don't have to pay are two sets for the one person because you've already put money aside in your unpaid liabilities. So this pays for everything that's in red. Holiday, sick pay, other, retirement, everything else comes out of that account. That's why you put the money in it. One of the things to be wary of is people who accumulate too much holiday pay because that becomes a massive liability to the business. And if you haven't put that money aside, then that could be a real risk. And inevitably, as you know, they will do it at the worst possible time, cash flow wise. Bear in mind that a lot of these accounts will in time get to be quite large. So I was working with a multinational who had about 2,500 employees all over North America and Canada and even down to Mexico. Their unpaid liabilities account reached $3.5 million US dollars because they had put this money aside and they had lots of people accumulating lots of leave and that sort of thing. So these numbers can get pretty big pretty quickly. And if you haven't put the money aside, it just creates undue stress on the business. It takes away your ability to have more time, profits, and freedom in your business. So hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions, then please feel free to send me an email. I'm Matt at thecafedoctor.com. Find us on Facebook. Find us on LinkedIn. You can jump on the website. Go to Facebook, thecafedoctor.com. Actually, I think it's just if you search The Cafe Doctor, you'll find that. Feel free to send me a message directly and ask any questions you want. So there we go. That's the real cost of labor, something that we should all be cognitively aware of and making it front and center, because when we do our wage percentage, we do factor in that real cost of labor. Until next time, have a great afternoon.